I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that they're suffering on different
Yeah, sure.
challenges, and they're lost, right?
Mm.
We were once, and we all need help.
The first one is what didn't go to plan and why. So what went wrong here? Why did this happen? Right? Like it's almost like a post-mortem in a way. It's quite a critical, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but a critical post-mortem of the circumstance. So what didn't go to plan and why? Then the next question I ask myself is, which is really quite empowering, what did I learn? What did I learn from this experience, right? Like so often we miss this piece, yeah, and we jump to the next bit, but this is critical. What did I learn that I didn't know before? And it might be about the business, it might be about me, it might be how I show up in the world. And then the third part that comes off of that is, well, how am I going to use these questions and these lessons to benefit myself and other people? So I've made my business and mission taking crap and turning it into something valuable. That is the superpower of myself, right? And of the business, right? That's what it is. It's about how do we take those challenges and turn them into something useful. And once you've got that, you've got it forever, Jan, right? No one can come away and take it out of your head. You have it. You understand it at a deeper level. And so the next question I ask, there's 5, number 4 is, would there be anything that I would do different now that I know, right? Because sometimes it's easy, even when it's bad and it's really disruptive, to sometimes point fingers or sometimes not own your piece too in it. And I think that's important that we do say, what would I do different? Because then it starts to remove any victim or finger pointing or whatever you can own. And I think that's important, right? I think even we have to own it and say, well, hang on, I did make the decision that I wasn't going to do that, or I did do that or whatever. And I own my part as well. And so I think that's not making you the victim. That's empowering you to say, yeah, okay, I would do that different next time. I wouldn't go down that path. And then the other one is, what can I influence and what can I not? So what can I do right now, right? Like, so those questions have been just life-changing for me. And every time I've gone through and faced it and faced that challenge and that adversity, I always come back to them and they always settle. It's like a reset, right? My work is a reset. That's how it's been explained to me. They're like, this is a reset. And so I need to go through that reset. So I've had the hiatus where I do whatever I want to do, and it's not work-related. I come then now, I'm in that mental space that, okay, now game on, self-reflection, pulling it apart, right, using some smart questions. And then I focus on one action. So the next stage is one action, right? Like you have to get the first action done. And when you've had, you know what I mean? You know that when you feel in yourself, you feel overwhelmed, right? And the worst thing is doing nothing, right? So it's that, that absolute paralysis of not moving at all. So I'll choose one thing. It could be really simple. It might be picking up the phone and calling someone. It could be sending an email. It might be doing some research on something. But that piece of just take that first action. And when you get that first step, then you start to see it can lead on, yeah? But I always make sure, particularly when you've come out of something can be traumatic at times too, right? Let's not lie. I've had experiences where I would say they are quite traumatic. And I think for me, it's being kind to myself and it's making sure that when I start to have a plan, I'm not overly ambitious. So I'll always work on a goal, but I'll only have maybe one or maybe even 2 or 3 actions around it, right? I'm not going to be doing a whole plan. I'm just going to start small. Right. And off of those actions, I then think about, well, where are my knowledge and skill gaps against that? If there are some, how do I fulfill them, right? Once again, if I need to get there, what is here in terms of gaps and threats and risk that can stand in the way? And I do a piece of work that I designed called the Innovation Capability Review, Jan, and that is like a risk assessment on creative entrepreneurial steroids.
Wow.
And it's the first piece of work that I do with any client, and I do it with myself as well too. And I have a goal, I have a particular outcome, and then the Innovation Capability Review is the piece that I do off the back of it. And that is like my little roadmap. That's my guide. That's my guidebook to actually help just get clarity and focus around where I start. And it evolves, right? So the beautiful thing about this is that it's not a static piece of work. And so I can mold it and shape it and move things around to see where it needs to sit. But once again, what it tends to do is take you out of that sort of victim or, dead end sort of mindset to now starting to change your focus to something that is creative. Yeah, it's all about changing that focus to, hang on, I can actually influence this, pardon me, and shape it in a way that if I hadn't done this process, I would probably still be back thinking that everyone is a so-and-so and life ain't great. So they're some of the steps, Jan, that I've done and used on not just myself, but with other people, and again and again and again. And the recipe is right. I feel that this is like making a cake, right? It's got certain ingredients, and when the ingredients are right, it doesn't matter who it's for or the circumstances, it will work. But it's like the cake, recipe that needs eggs. If that step needs to be there, it needs to be there. Don't jump on, think, oh, well, it doesn't need eggs. I won't put eggs in it, and then it tastes like crap. So, yeah, that's there's a recipe there for a reason. And that's what I do. And as I said, it takes the panic out of it.
I love that. Wow. I share the same philosophy also. If it's there should be a reason, right?
Yeah.
We just need to figure that out, and apply it, adjust, and modify. With that process, you can really guide and transform people's lives, business people, entrepreneurs, brands. And I love that you mentioned about helping them have clarity. That alone can really change everything, right? And that's the reason why a lot of, brands, entrepreneurs fail. It's not because of, what they have is not working. It's because of the lack of clarity.
Yeah.
Right? They get lost. And when you get lost, the time is being used. It's getting wasted.
Correct.
And with you and your message and your team, your company behind this powerful process, your clarity is being fixed. And guys, for everyone, I don't want to promote, I'm not getting paid to do this.
No.
But I really urge you guys to connect with Ali, because like what you've heard, clarity is everything. If you want to pivot your business, you need someone that can help you bring your brand to the next level by understanding where you need to improve, where you need to focus on, and that is clarity.